Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be walking through how the first half of the 2022 season was for the Texas Rangers. I wanted to make this video last week, but the MLB draft was so crazy, and then Corey Seager was in the home run derby, and then the All-Star game. It was a crazy week, so I didn't get a chance to make and post this last week, and I do have a draft review video coming out tomorrow, hopefully. But anyway, I wanted to dissect what happened in the first, I think it was almost 90 games actually. It was kind of a longer first half this year for the Rangers. They finished at a 41-49 record, which is actually the lowest below 500 that they've been all season. And they did just win today though, so it was a good win, 8-0 against Miami, but we're not talking about today. That's second half stuff. We're looking at the first half. Still a 3% chance to make the postseason, by the way. You never know. So yeah, here's the big breakdown. If I could talk. The big breakdown. You got the 41-49 record. Somehow still third in the division, I guess, because the Angels and the A's have just fell off a cliff. But anyway, winning the division is basically gone, which I didn't think they would. Houston has 60 wins, I believe. Never been above 500 at all. They got to it like twice. And then, yeah, currently most games under 500. So, you know, that's all whatever. They shut down in July. We'll get into that later. The big number that I do want to call out is this: 5-20 in one-run games. That is a 200 winning percentage. Not very good. And that is the reason why they are below 500. Now, I'm not going to say that they should have won a lot of these games, because we also saw the inverse of that in 2016, I think, where they were something like 30-2 or some ridiculous margin in one-run games. I wonder if I can actually jump to that real quick. Let's just click through. Getting a little off topic, but I do want to see this. So 2016, of course, first place, 95 wins. Incredible season. Yeah, 36-11. That's a 76, almost 77 win percentage. All months above 500 except July, and that was still not bad. And then, unfortunately, the goose eggs in October. But we're not here to talk about 2016. I just wanted to show that contrast of, even if you are winning literally 77% of your one-run games, that doesn't mean anything. It's a handful of times luck combined with good bullpen, combined with whatever. But the big reason that this number has been like this year is because it's either been the starting pitching goes like 3 innings, giving up 5-6 runs, and then the bullpen shuts it down and the team starts to make a comeback, but they just run out of juice at the end. Or inversely, starting pitching goes 6-7 innings, 1 or 2 runs, even 3 runs, and then the bullpen implodes and you lose 6-3. Or sorry, it's supposed to be 1-run games. Excuse me. You'll lose like 6-5 or something. So it seems to either be short starting pitching or good start, blown bullpen, or good starting and good bullpen, but the offense is shut down. So I know that's kind of generic for a lot of teams, but in this case especially, since Martin Perez and John Gray have basically been the only two consistent starters in the whole rotation in terms of innings and runs allowed, that has been an issue. So hopefully they will address that. I'll make a trade deadline video soon as well, as that's coming up sooner than you think. But anyway, getting way off topic, back to the first half here. I wanted to point out as well, Oakland, where we absolutely own Oakland, but so do most teams right now. I mean, 7-3, most wins against any team and best winning percentage against any team so far. Or sorry, best winning percentage is technically Philadelphia at 4 In 0, Seattle struggling to beat Seattle. Not great against Toronto, and we don't talk about the National Series. But anyway, the interesting number, though, has been blowouts. They actually have a positive winning percentage, and you can add another one to that today. Positive in interleague, add another one to that as well today. Not great in extra innings, but with the second runner on second rule, if your bullpen is not elite, you're going to give up a run more times than not, in my opinion. I don't know if numbers back that up, but almost a positive run differential, by the way, just -1, which is promising. It just hasn't reflected in the win-loss record yet. And then pretty getting more even on home and away splits. Should be higher at home, though, ideally. And lastly, we'll look at the month by month. April was not good. May was easily their best month. Probably the best month they will have, to be honest with you. And then June was pretty good, even on runs allowed and runs scored. That is a thing a lot of people overlook, by the way. I feel like that is a huge thing. I know it's a basic idea, like, yeah, obviously if you score more than you give up, you're going to win. But I'm talking about kind of the aggregate number for the whole month. You can see more than you scored for the whole month means you only get 7 wins. Almost 30 more in May. Yeah, you're going to win some ball games. Tied in June, and they ended up being about 500. There's a correlation there. So it seems like this month, I know they have a week off, but less runs than even April so far, although there's a handful of games left. So my point with this is they're actually 6-11 now, but there is potential to get back to 500. There has been, obviously, they went on a bit of a losing streak here recently, but the potential is there. So then I wanted to scroll down, the different page here. Looking at your top 12 players of the first half, you'd actually be surprised to see that some of these guys are up here, like Leote and Eli White and Brett Martin even, and then Dane Dunning rounds out your top 12. But of course, Martin, Cy Young candidate still. Corey Seager's been on an absolute tear. He didn't play today because of the travel between, going from LA to Miami, and then they're going to go back to Oakland, I think. So, that makes sense. Jonah Heim should have been an all-star, but, it is what it is. Marcus, Adolis, Brock Burke all have above 2 wins above replacement. And then Matt Moore, John Gray's catching up. And Leote was the biggest surprise to me because he hasn't been up that long, I don't think. If we take a look, he's got 90 plate appearances and has almost 1 WAR already. So, pretty good stuff. And same with Eli White. Just 117 plate appearances, and he's up there. As you can see, your daily guys have almost 400 already. So, it's a big difference. Looking at your team totals for batting, I actually don't know. This does tell you the rank. So they are 5th in runs scored, really, in the AL. Huh. And it looks like they are 4th in home runs. Wow. They have hit a lot. This month, actually, they've hit 31, including today. OPS 7, so they're middle of the pack / upper third in a lot of these categories in the AL. I don't know how that translates to all of baseball, but the hitting has not really been the issue, is my point. They've had their days of not looking good, but that's always going to happen. Even the Yankees were getting no hit by the Reds for like 7 innings not that long ago, so it happens. But overall, pretty good numbers. The team as a whole is slashing .239, which isn't great, but these days it's not the worst by far, believe it or not. And pitching has been, as you can see, the numbers reflect that. 12th out of 15 with a 4.1 team ERA. They're fifth in losses. You know, 13th in innings pitched, which goes back to they're just not getting those innings. Let's see, earned runs 11th, strikeouts 10th, yeah, walks 13th. I think that's in the good way then. And then no rank for the whip, but a team whip of 1.3 is not great. I mean, you got to understand, though, team numbers are always inflated because it's a whole team. It's not one guy. This is the guy you want to look at right here. 2.68 ERA for Martin, 111 innings pitched. And then John Gray, you can tack on 6 more innings to this and another win. He has been pretty phenomenal. They got whips in the 1.1. That's where you want to be, somewhere around the low ones. See Joe Barlow 1. It's not an end-all, be-all stat, but it's a good indication. You see John King with a 1.6. And it will reflect in your ERA usually. This fielding independent pitching is a good stat as well. But anyway, so the pitching has been okay. A few standout guys, of course. Brock Burke, absolutely killing it. Almost 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. And Matt Bush, actually, with 11 per 9 innings. So that's it for the stats. Basically, the synopsis is lineup's been pretty good. Pitching has been okay. And I think there are defensive metrics on here as well, maybe. Yeah, defensive metrics. What are these? Is this errors? 13 out of 15 in errors and 11 out of 15 in fielding percentage. There have been some issues. It's not the biggest issue, though. You know, they have up the middle covered. Josh Smith at third's been pretty good. Obviously, Nathaniel Lowe at first has been pretty solid. So they're mostly fine on the infield. But yeah, that's it for the statistics. We'll take a look at the standings now. The last part, I kind of talked about it briefly. Division is basically no chance unless Houston just... Whoop, clicked on the ad. Didn't know that was an ad. Unless Houston just drops off the face of the earth. But looking at the wild card, this is where the Rangers will get their chance. And this is updated. I'll double check it. I think Houston just won today. Okay, it's updated. So Texas is currently 7 games back, and after the 8-0 win, they do have a positive run differential. Now, you'll take a look at the expected win-loss, and they should be 46 and 45. I think there was that number on Baseball Reference as well. I'll pull that back up. On here, they call it like the Pythagorean win-loss. It's kind of the same idea. Let's take a look here. Maybe they don't do it till the end of the year, but they do a thing. If I go back to 2021, there should be that. Yeah, Pythagorean win-loss was pretty much the same for that, but it's the same idea of, I guess it doesn't tell you the quick answer. It's the same idea based on runs allowed. Oh, it is on here. So there you have it as 45 and 45, but that doesn't include today. So it should be 46 and 45, which would put them right about here. So like 2, or is that 3 games back of a wild card spot? However, it's easy to just say, oh yeah, this is what they should do, because look at the Angels. I mean, look at all these teams. Some of them are pretty far off. I don't know what noise my computer's making there. Sorry about that. They're pretty far off some of the time. Although, looking at it now, I think the Rangers are the most far off of theirs. But anyway, we're not here to get into that kind of stuff. My point is, they can still be in the wild card race. 7 games in July isn't too bad. But let me know what y'all think. This was a little more rambly than I wanted it to be. But I'll say this. The Rangers had a lot of missed opportunities in the first half. They could have capitalized on multiple games to get back to 500. It didn't happen for one reason or another. But they started off with this first game pretty strong. They're going into Oakland, which should be a pretty easy series win. We've said that before, but it should be a pretty easy series win. And if they can get some momentum going into the trade deadline, plus or minus a couple games from 500, trade for some guys, you never know. They made that run in 2015. I don't think they were 7 games below 500 at the All-Star break, but, we'll see. So let me know what y'all think. I'm excited to see what happens, and early 2023 is going to be the year of contention. But this has been a surprise still, and that's what people need to remember, is this team was not anticipating anything crazy this year. The fact that they went 17-10 in May was already shocking enough. So that's it for this video. Very rambly, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to y'all later.